Greetings, Commanders. This is Commander Headless Rand, and today we're going to be getting an Empire rank of Duke. And the reason to do that is to get access to be able to purchase the Imperial Cutter. The Imperial Cutter is not only the most expensive ship in the game, but it is a very versatile, large ship. It can be used for hauling with 784 cargo capacity. It has the second best shield tank in the game if you want to do some PvE action. Not PvP, though, probably. It is a very fast, large ship. In fact, I think it has the highest speed of any large ships out there. Certainly a lot faster than the Anaconda or the Corvette. And it can run as either a shield tanker or as a hull tanker, depending on how it's configured. Lastly, it is a very pretty looking ship. So there is that to be said. In terms of its capacity, a lot of people take advantage of that to use it for mining. Generally, it's people that don't mine a whole lot, in my experience. But because of the large capacity, it's able to hold a significantly larger amount of cargo while mining. The problem with it, or the downside, and this becomes very true with mining, is that the turrets that you put on it are fairly wide apart. And so there's a bit of a convergence issue there. So what you're aiming at is generally not coming from the very tip of the ship, the very nose of the ship. It's coming from one of the nacelles of the ship, which are fairly wide apart from each other, which makes it more difficult to do things at shorter distances. Now, for PvE, if you're shooting lasers or even other weapons, the convergence is not as much of an issue. Certainly not if you're using weapons that are able to follow the target a little bit, then this really is not an issue. But just keep in mind that the weapons are spaced fairly far apart on this ship. The reason I'm going to get it today is for hauling cargo and doing it faster than a Type 9 is capable of doing. So to get the ship, like I said at the beginning, we need an Empire rating of Duke. So what is an Empire rating and how do we increase it? Well, if you go to the right panel, which is what I'm on right now, and you go to the status tab, which is where I'm at. So let me flip over it just so you can see it. There's different tabs. We go to status, and then you have to go to the second tab, which is reputation. You can see your reputation with the three major groups: Federation, Empire, and Alliance. Doesn't matter who you're pledged to. This just is going to show you what your current ranks are. So you can see for Federation, I have a petty officer rank. For Empire, I currently have a master rank. And for Alliance, well, they don't have ranks. They just have reputation. So how many ranks are there? And what can you do to move up the ranks? Well, let me see here. Let me turn on a screen. So that screen right there is from the Elite Dangerous Wikipedia, which I have linked to in my video. You can go there. And that is a listing of the Empire ranks. You can see it starts with none, and then goes to Outsider, Serf, Master, Squire, Knight, Lord, Baron, Viscount, Count, Earl, Marquis, and then finally Duke. So the rank of Master is actually pretty low. It's number 3 on the scale of Duke being number 12. So there's a long way to go here and a short time to get there. No, just kidding. Well, it's actually not that long. So the method we're going to use to get rank is essentially going between two stations back and forth and doing courier delivery missions. The reason we're going to do that is because it is a very, very quick method to get to that rank. In fact, the last time I did this, well, the last time it took a lot longer, but I've done this a number of times on different accounts. And the total time, start to finish, whether you do it all in one session or whether you break it up into several play sessions, spread it across a few days, total time of doing those missions is 5 hours. Maybe you could do it in less. Maybe it takes you a little longer because you're not moving your mouse as fast as I am. But it's about a 5 hour from 0 all the way up to Duke at 12. Now, some people could say 5 hours. That's a hell of a grind. Well, in this game, that's not even the beginning of a grind. Some things take days of nonstop work to complete, and this certainly doesn't. 5 hours is, a bit of gameplay on the weekend, or maybe for some people, it's like an hour a day during the course of the week. So it's very doable, very achievable, and it gets you the final unlock of the Empire locked privileges. There are 2 other ranks above Duke, and that's Prince and King. But there's not really a benefit to doing either one of those 2. So I'm not going to talk about those 2. So what are we going to do in order to get to that rank? Well, we're going to fly to a couple of systems that are right next to each other where we're going to be able to start doing missions carrying things back and forth. The first system we're going to go to is Nagalan, and the system that is right next to it is called Minani. So let's pop open the map. And I'm at LFT 168 right now. Let's go ahead and type in Nagali, and that's Ngalinn, Nagalan. All right. There it is. And we can go out of the system optimization mode into the regular mode, like realistic here. That's 3 jumps. Not too far for me. And the system, just so you can see it here, that we're going to be flying to is right next to it. Is Minani. It's that one right there. So basically, we're just going to be bouncing back and forth between these 2 systems. And luckily, they have a whole bunch of courier missions that happen to have the other system as a destination. I'll also show you how to use money to help accelerate the pace for getting rank. But obviously, money missions are optional. They're basically donation missions. And you donate $1 million or $1 million, whatever the credits, I guess. $1 million credits, and you get some status and some reputation as a result. It's an expensive way to do it, but if you're doing that combined with doing the courier missions, it'll get you there quicker. But certainly for newer players, in fact, any ship will work for this. So literally any player, including the first day player who has no assets and a starter ship, is flying in a Sidewinder, could do this mission. So in a Sidewinder, you could potentially, by doing about 5 hours of back and forth flying, you can get to Duke level on your first day. Is that the best use of your first day activities? Probably not. Is it possible? Absolutely. So let me jump there. I'm actually going to switch to an account that needs that's actually closer to this and can do the mission. And then I can show you what I'm doing as I'm running these missions, kind of show you a little bit of the back and forth. But honestly, it's just very repetitive. It's the same thing over and over and over. So I'm going to stop it here, and I will meet you in my other account that's already parked down there in Nagalan. And now that we've arrived in Nagalan, we're going to make our way to the Hickam Survey Station. You can see it's the only station in the system. And I've got the filters set up for stations only in here. And I'm going to do my usual trick of coming in quicker by being able to make sure it's turned on, Super Cruise Assist. So you get to about 7 seconds in just full speed mode with Super Cruise Assist turned off. At 7 seconds, you put Super Cruise Assist on. And you leave it there until on the bottom left of the screen, you'll see the speed slider in view. Right now, only the distance slider is in use. Don't touch anything. But once the speed slider comes into view, you'll be able to accelerate a little more. So still at 7. Okay, the speed sliders come in. I usually let it get a few hatches over to the left. Then I accelerate further to 5, and then I put it back on 3/4 speed almost immediately. Now let's see if this works. It should, but it's about a 90% success rate, not 100%. There we go. So it worked. So that got us to the station much quicker. And if you do exactly what I just did, you should get there quite a bit faster yourself, about 90% of the time. So 10% of the time, you'll start it slowing down, and then you'll just zoop right past the station. Not a big deal. Turn around and get back in there. You'll be pretty close. But it works most of the time, and it saves you about a minute, maybe a minute and a half of time. So is it worth it? That's up to you. All right, let's go and land. Request docking. Speed to 0 so that auto land can take us in. And you probably have some nice classical music playing. I have that turned off because I keep getting copyright strikes every time that music plays. So you don't get to hear the landing music on my videos anymore. All right, now that we've landed, all you're going to do, well, obviously refuel, but all you're going to do is go into Start Port Services. For that to pop up, then you're going to go into Mission Board. Into Mission Board again, and you're going to go into Transportation, and you're going to scroll down until you see courier missions to Minani or Mainani. I don't know how it's pronounced. Mainani. Basically these missions right here. Most of them pay 60,000, but we don't care how much they pay. We're looking strictly for rep. Rep is the thing that will get you more rank in the Empire. And after all, that's why you're here. To get rank all the way up to Duke. Duke rank gets you access to the final ship of the Imperial ship line, which is the Imperial Clipper. Now, obviously, if you're at absolutely 0 rank, along the way, you'll also get access to the Imperial Courier. You'll get access to a couple of systems like Achenar and Faces. You're going to get access to the Imperial Clipper, enunciate, and Summerland, which I believe is a system. But the one that most people are trying to get access to is the Imperial Clipper, the glorious, best hauling ship in the game, second best shield tanking PvE ship in the game, third best mining ship in the game, and overall a beautiful ship. And by the way, it is the fastest of the large ships to fly. Nothing else goes as fast as the Imperial Clipper once you've fully engineered it. So great ship. Anyway, you start getting these courier jobs. Now remember, you can get 20 courier jobs, and this station should have 20 courier jobs available for you, and maybe even more. Now, if you do this back and forth, a lot of times, there may be less than 20 here. But that's all right. There'll be more once you deliver, drop off, and get more jobs. So we can keep getting this. But before I finish getting all of these, and incidentally, you can see there's not 20 right now because I just came back from doing some of these missions earlier. But we've got all the ones that are available. So that's it. You don't want to take any other kinds of missions. No other courier missions to somewhere else. No missions. It's not worth it. It's faster to do this. Now, if you're doing this and you're not a beginner, you've already got plenty of money. You just never worked up the Imperial ranks. Go to support. And, well, there aren't any here. But usually in support, you will have some missions that will charge you $1 million. And we'll see some probably in the next station. And for 1 million, they will give you some reputation and some influence. But looks like we're all out of them. So we've got our missions. Let's go ahead and fly to the next system. Go ahead and auto launch. Meanwhile, we'll pop open our map. And it's right next door. Literally, it's like 3 light years away. Mainani. And Mainani is going to have missions back to Nagaland for us. That's the beauty of doing it here, of getting a whole bunch of missions in order to progress your Imperial rank here, is that most, but not all, of the courier missions send you to the same 2 systems. So let's go ahead and jump there. Now, for this account, I'm not brand new. Obviously, I've got plenty of money on this account. But it's an account that has never gone through the Imperial ranks. Or the Alliance ranks either, for that matter, actually. I've just never bothered because I have both of those on my main account. And this account I mostly use to transport goods, so it's never been an issue. But now I really want to get the Imperial Cutter, so it's become an issue. You'll get some of these messages. You'll go to the only station that this system has. That's the other beauty, is these systems each only have 1 station that you need to worry about. And they're both fairly close to the star, but we'll go ahead and SCO accelerate towards them anyway. Make sure that we have, yeah, cruise assist is on. We're going to use cruise assist again. We'll keep flying until we get to about 7 seconds. Hit cruise assist, or when I say hit cruise assist, what I'm actually doing is dropping the speed down to 75%. And then I'll show you why that turns on cruise assist, because if we go into ship and you go up into here, you can see that super cruise assist is manual throttle, either auto or manual. As long as it's on manual throttle, super cruise will automatically turn on only when the throttle is at 75%. So here I'm going to move the throttle only to 100%. Super cruise turns off. And then I'm going to drop it back to 75%. Now I might have taken a little too long to do that. We'll find out. But super cruise automatically turned on as soon as I dropped it to 75%. Okay, I did it just in time. So we actually really accelerated our slowdown process here. So do 1 turbo blip. And then go ahead and do a request docking. And if you end up missing the station and keep flying toward, past it, just turn around, go back. You should be able to hit about a 90% ratio by using this little maneuver of slowing down by going to 7 and then speeding up by going down to 5 and then back to slowing down once again when it's at 5. You end up saving about a little over a minute from each landing sequence. So it does add up. If you do this back and forth, you're going to save like half an hour to an hour just by using this method as well. Now that we've landed, refuel obviously, let's go and start port services. And we will go to missions. It's blue because we have missions to turn in. There's our missions. Now, it's critically important that when you turn them in, you always select reputation. And one thought you may have is like, okay, well, I already have reputation maxed out. I can see it on the right side of the screen. It says allied. So why would I select reputation? Because the reputation you want to get isn't with the faction. The faction is the group that's actually here. The reputation you're trying to get is with Empire. And I guarantee you have not maxed out your Empire reputation. So once again, we're just going to keep turning these in and selecting reputation. Reputation. They don't pay that much anyway, so there's not a whole lot of reason to do money. Reputation. Now, if it doesn't give you a reputation as an option, then you would select influence or money. I guess it doesn't really matter, but if there's reputation as an option, make sure you always select reputation, because that's the thing that actually builds up your standing. Now, what's the first thing you do? If you have money, if you're not a new player, and they're all out again, you would go in here and check for missions where you can just buy reputation for $1 million. Million credits. They don't have any, so we go to transport. And let's scroll down and take a look and see what we have available for couriers, but specifically for couriers going back to Nagalan. So, okay, starting with that one, storage traffic transfer, that's courier. Now all of these have little red skull logos, which means they're difficult. It says threat level 8, but threat level 8 means if you get interdicted by a pirate, that's the level of pirate you're going to get. However, remember, we're only jumping 3 light years, and we're literally going from a close to the sun station to a close to the sun station. The threat of getting interdicted is pretty darn small. Nagalan. Gallon. So they have slightly different names. Like this is famine data transport, but these are all essentially courier. They have the courier icon, which is the little shock absorber with an arrow. That's the way I think of it. Or it's a 01110. And I think this is the last one. And now we're starting to see actual product delivery, which we don't want to do. All right. Let's see if any more of these popped up. No, none more of those. So we've picked up our missions. We turned in the previous ones. We go back. We got to launch. Go to our big map here, our galaxy map. Go back to the Gallon. Very short little jump. And the Gallon is kind of below us, so we just have to get below the station. Get ourselves aligned. And fly back. As soon as we pop out here by the sun, we'll target the only station that's in the system and go land there to drop off these jobs and pick up some more jobs for the return trip. And it's basically something you just repeat over and over. Again, repeating things over and over is not the funnest thing you could do in the game. Obviously, I know that. Become survey, cruise assist. However, it is the fastest way to get to Duke rank, which is what you need for Cutter. If you do nothing but this at rank 0, you will get to Duke in about 4 to 5 hours, depending on how quickly you do this. But I've done it in as short as 4 hours on one of my accounts. That is extremely short because the first account I had, I didn't use this method. And that took me about 3 weeks. 3 weeks of trying to get to Duke by taking, missions, fighting pirates and other things like that. So by far, this is the quickest way to get access to a Imperial cutter by getting your Imperial faction. Okay, we're going to slow down. I don't know. I think I slowed down too late. So I'm actually going to do the dip and then back up. And hopefully by the time we come back up, it'll be slow enough that it'll pull us out. Yeah, see, we're at 7 seconds again. So instead of doing a full loop of shame, you could just do a dip of shame and just sort of slow down, dip down, wait for your speed to slow down a little bit, then dip back up and look at the system. Now we can accelerate again to 5 and and then hit the speed to 3/4 again, and that should pull us out. This one I did at a slower speed, so this one absolutely is going to work. The biggest thing is if you do it too quickly, then that's like the faster your speed right now, the more chance you'll fly past the station that's not going to be able to pull you out. But again, if it pulls me out 90% of the time, I'm still happy. All right, so let's request docking. And while it's going to dock us, I want to show you here. If you tab over to status, and then you go up and down, you go to the second one down, which is reputation. You can see your Federation, Empire, and Alliance reputation and standing. So you can see mine right now says rank Marquis 38%. Okay. So what I'm trying to get to is Duke. Duke unlocks the Imperial cutter. While I'm doing this video, I am just 1 away from getting Duke. So all I need to do is go from 38% to 100%, do 1 mission after that, and I will get my Duke rating, which unlocks the Imperial cutter. If you're watching this video when you're a newer player, obviously you're going to have a lot more ranks to go through. And just FYI, here are the ranks, guys. You start at 0, which is none. Then you go to Outsider, rank 1. Serf, rank 2. Master, rank 3. Squire, rank 4. Knight, rank 5. Lord, rank 6. Then Baron at 7. Viscount at 8. Count at 9. Earl at 10. Marquis at 11. That's the rank I am right now. And Duke at 12. And above Duke, you can go for Prince and then King, but they don't give you anything. There's literally no real reward for getting Prince or King. So most people don't bother. Most people stop at Duke. But if you'd like to see yourself as king, you're more than welcome to achieve that top tier rank. So to get to this point has taken me about 4.5 hours. And like I said, I've done it in 4 on a different account before. On this account, doing it right now, it's taking me about 4.5 hours to get to here, where we are in the video, which is rank Marquis. And it should take me another probably 2 or 3 trips back and forth. So probably another half an hour to finish this out. So I figure 5 hours total to get to Duke and unlock it. But let's find out what we've got here. So we were at 38%. Let's see how much it goes up from dropping off the missions that we picked up on the other side. So we had 11 missions. And the missions are literally just transport, right? You're just flying back and forth. These can also be done in any ship. Again, older players know this, newer players, I'm just letting you know. You can literally do this in a starter ship. You don't need anything special on the ship. You don't need shields, although I recommend flying with shields, but you don't need the shields to do courier mission. It literally is anything that flies can be a ship that you do courier missions in. No cargo space, perfectly fine. If you have cargo space, that's fine. It's not going to make any difference. I'm doing this right now in a Cobra Mark V, primarily because it is a fairly quick ship. I think it's the quickest ship that I have for this account, but it literally could be done in any ship, including a starter ship, if that is your goal. Okay, we've dropped them all off. Now, let's take a look at that right side panel. So we went from 38 to 48. You see that? See how quick that goes? So 10 missions, or 11, I guess that was 11. And I did all 11 on the same flight, right? That bumped me by 10%. So I guess that would mean that 100% would be about 110 missions or so. But again, you can get up to 20 of these at a time. First of all, I'm going to go in here. No, still none. That's surprising. I would have for sure thought that this would have regenerated enough to give me some paid missions as well. Apparently not. That's all right. Let's go into transport. Go back down here. Courier jobs for Manani. Where does that start? Right here. So let's go ahead and accept these. Courier, 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 courier. Okay, that was it, right? That was the last one. Okay. And check in here one more time. Nothing. All right. I'm going to keep checking because we should get some of those missions as well that just cost money. Again, for newer players, don't worry about spending money. Just go do the courier missions. They cost you nothing, and they give you this standing. Let me see if I need... Oh, yeah. I can definitely sell in the... biggest reason for selling your exploration data has nothing to do with money, because the money is pathetically small, as you can see. What it has to do is locking in that you've been to a particular planet to your account. That means from this point on, every system that I just sold, if I go to the big map, I'll be able to click on that system and it'll have the option to view system map. So if I pick a system I've never been to, like that one, you can see this is grayed out. I can't see what it actually looks like. I've never been there. Here is a system I've been to, and forever after you've been to it once, you can click on view system map, and the view system map, of course, will show you more details. So if you want to know what's in that system, once you've been there once, you can always look it up. You don't have to memorize it. You don't have to use an ARA. You can just click in the system and actually view system map. So that's the main reason for selling universal cartographic data, is it locks into the game server which systems you visit. Until you sell that data, it is subject to be lost. If your ship blows up, if something happens to you on foot missions, if you die, that data gets lost. So make sure you are always selling your planetary data to Universal Cartographics. You will get a little bit of money, but not really that much, so it doesn't matter. Okay, one last time, since I've been yapping, I'm going to check. Probably no new missions. Yep, none new. Okay, fine. Fine, he doesn't want to make money off of me. That's fine. We'll do our auto launch. We'll go to Manani. And it's right in front of us. So we'll just go ahead and fly around all this junk and jump to it. So that's really about it, guys. It's just a very basic loop of flying between these two stations, and just dropping off the data that you picked up at the other station. And as you do that, you're gonna have missions pop up whenever you get to. I'll show you in a sec here. Whenever you get to 100% of the next rank, the way that you sort of do the rank up is by executing a mission for the Empire. And I could have this video go on another half an hour just so you guys could see that, but I think you'll see it okay anyway. So when this goes from 48% to 100%, my rank, after it hits 100%, the next time I'm picking up missions, I will have a mission that is colored green, where everything else is kind of orange. You will see one mission is colored green. And that is the mission that actually ranks you up. So the percentage tells you, can you be ranked up? So obviously 48%, no, we can't yet. But when it hits 100%, that means you can rank up. But the actual ranking up happens when you accept the mission for going to the next rank. In fact, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the recording here, and then the next thing you'll see here is when I'm at 100%, which is probably going to take me a half hour, but it'll be no time for you guys. And then you will see what the ranking up looks like. Okay, I actually brought you back a little bit early. I'm not quite ready, but I did want to show you. This is what it looks like, this donate screen. So it's donate $1 million to the cause. All you do is accept it, and you can see I've got like 6 or 7 of these. This is not for beginners, this is for people with a lot of money. But you could basically buy some rewards here. So do completed missions. So after you accept it, you still have to complete it. And you're going to get some reputation as a result of, now I just hit spacebar to go through them really quick. That'll go ahead and pay out funds from your wallet and get you the reputation and influence as a result of that. Okay. And now, well, I might as well show you where we are now. So we're at 63. We went from 48 to 63%. And I'll bring you back when we are at 100. Okay, we are at either 99 or 100%. So I thought I would bring you guys back. There's 3 more of these donations things I'm going to do just to make sure that I'm over 100%. It looked like it was 99. Go. Okay, this should for sure put me in the 100% marquee. And by the way, this process of getting to 100 and then doing a special mission happens at every level. And remember, marquee is the 11th level. Or sorry, not marquee, but the one you want to get to is the 11th, the Duke. There's that special mission. Do you see how it's in yellow? And the rest of these are in brown. So that special mission is courier job for Imperial Naval Intelligence. Now, it could be different things, but for me, this one happens to be a courier job, so we'll go ahead and take it. But notice, it's going to a different system than we usually fly to. 8VAS. Now, it doesn't matter because you still need to do this job for the mission. So that's the only one we're going to accept that is different. Otherwise, we're only accepting the... where are they here? Assassinate. Don't care about those. Yeah, data trans. Otherwise, we're only doing these missions, these courier jobs for Nagalan. But this one's not Nagalan, and it's also the last one that I need to unlock the ship. So we will go ahead and boop, boop, and then auto launch. And this mission is going to take us to, let's see, let's zoom out, see what, there it is. It's right there. Now yours may take you to a different location, but just keep in mind that that mission, the yellow one for Empire, may actually be to a different system. And that mission may also be not a courier mission. And you can do it as any type of mission that it gives you. However, if you would like it to be a courier mission like the one that I got, simply close out missions and then go back into missions and choose courier missions once again and do that over and over until that yellow mission pops up as a courier mission. Because it's random, and every time you close missions out and then go back into missions, it's randomized. So it could be a mission to kill pirates or something, for example. You don't want to do that. You close it out, go back into missions. Next time it might come up as deliver goods. You don't want that either. Close it out, go back into missions, and then at some point eventually it will pop up as, let's select this thing. It'll pop up as a courier mission, which of course is the easiest type of mission to do. Makes things a lot easier, and that's what I did. I chose that type of mission. And then we'll deliver it, and once that delivery is complete, we will be upgraded to the next level. So if you are starting at literally 0 Imperial status or Imperial level, then you're going to do this 11 times. You're going to go through... yeah, too fast. You're going to go do missions until you get a yellow one like that. You're going to do that. That will advance you 1 level. And you go back to choosing more of the regular missions. And over and over and over for 11 levels. So 11 of these Imperial yellow missions. Let's see if I'm too fast. I am too fast. Yeah, I kind of figured I would be. So one more loop-de-loop. This one should be enough though. Actually, yeah, we're going way too slow on that one. There we go. And eventually you will get to Duke, which will unlock the ship. Now, what am I going to do after I unlock the ship by turning in the mission? Well, I have to go somewhere where the ship is sold. And keep in mind that the Clipper is only sold in systems that are Empire systems. Or the Cutter, not the Clipper, sorry. The Clipper is the smaller ship. The Cutter is the one that I'm trying to get. That is the largest of the Imperial ships. So if you just go to any old random location, it's not likely to sell the Cutter. Now Shinrado Desra sells the Cutter, I believe. I think they sell every ship and everything for everybody, for every faction. But also any of Imperial locations sell the Cutters. And there it is. Throw the mission in. Completed mission. Courier for Imperial. I'll select reputation again. And it says promoted to Duke. There we go. So now that we're promoted to Duke, now I can actually fly to that location where I found the cheap price for the ship, which is not there. It was over here. No, it was in Inara. Let me just copy that back out of Inara. Where are you? There you are. Okay. I think it was right here. Yeah, there it is. I think it was that one. Oh, it doesn't matter. This one should have it as well. So there's our trip to it. Let's go buy the ship at a discount. Ah, shit. Didn't mean to do that. I was gonna go between those. I'm excited to get the new ship, that's why. But hey, the shields held. Look at that. We didn't get any damage out of that. The shields absorbed everything. Alright, so we're gonna jump through, gonna pick up that ship. Now, one thing that you want to keep in mind is the ship is 200 million. And then getting all A-rated parts for it is probably going to be another 200 million. Because, again, as I've said, this is the most expensive ship in the game. So keep in mind that all the components for it are going to be expensive as well. Now, if you're going to outfit it inside with just purely hauling, so just cargo racks, that'll definitely be a little cheaper. But nonetheless, the actual ship internals, those are still going to be very expensive. And to maximize jump range, you're probably not going to have any weapons on it, because let's face it, if you're building a ship for just transport hauling, it doesn't have a whole lot of defense, because you're using all those internal slots, the optional internals, for cargo. And not those same slots would be used for defensive things on the ship. So consequently, don't bother putting weapons on there, because you're always going to try and run away if you're hauling cargo in a cutter. You can fly Jameson. For anybody who doesn't have that permit, the way you get that permit is by achieving elite rank in anything. You could be elite in sales, elite in exploration, elite in military and fighting people. So any elite rank gets you access to Shinrada Desra, which is where Jameson is, which is, there we go, that's where we want to go, which is the station that has a 10% flat discount to everything. Let's get a little closer here. And obviously, if you could buy the cutter, that means you can buy all the rest of the Imperial ships. I like the Imperial Clipper as well. Its a big downside is it's a medium-sized ship inside, but it's large on the outside. So it has to have a large landing pad, which means it can't land on any of the smaller outposts out there that only have small and medium pads. But it's a pretty good ship as long as you're not concerned about where you're landing. The Imperial Courier and the Imperial Eagle, I believe, both of those are fun little ships as well. They look cool. They're fast as heck. The Imperial Courier even has a little bigger size weapons on it, so you can load more things up on there. You can even put a little bit of a, well, you could stick a more defensive armaments on there as well, and still fly really fast. So the Imperial ships are all interesting in and of themselves. And of course, at the time of recording this video, there is a brand new Imperial ship coming out from Gudamaya, which is the ship manufacturer. I can't remember its name, but it looks really cool. And it's supposed to be coming out in about a month from now, from when I record this. So, and that will be able to land at medium pads. So I'm definitely looking forward to having a Imperial ship that can land on medium pads in the future here. Alrighty. Now let's finally pick this thing up. And I'm curious as to what the discount is. I mean, it's 15%, I know that, but let's see what that actually comes down to. And it's 200 and, what did I say, 202 or 205? 208 million is the standard price, non-discounted price on it. Let's find out how much the discounted price is. Hail the Empire, it says on the outside of the station. We're in pad 1.
Landing gear deployed.
Alright. Now, starboard. Shipyard. Purchase. All the way to the right. Okay, not that far. No. There we go. There it is. Imperial cutter. So here, instead of 208, it's 173 million. So please purchase. Yes. And I've got the cutter. Now, cutter by itself, as I said, is going to be a horrible ship to fly around in. So we have to upgrade everything on it. The first thing I'm going to do is get rid of these pulse lasers. So don't need them. Don't need any weapons on this ship. This will be a hauling ship, so weapons are redundant on it. Utility mounts we'll get to. Let's go through the cores. So you have the option here. If you have perfect engineering, you probably could leave the lightweight here and just fully engineer the lightweight. If you don't have great engineering, it's better to replace the lightweight with military grade. Now, look at the cost. We paid 187 million for the ship. The military grade composite is going to be 155 million. So only do this if you don't care, if you have a sufficient enough bank account to spend this kind of money. I'll go ahead and put that in because I'm going to be flying without a shield. I want to have as much DPS to the ship as possible. We're going to skip the power plant for now. Thrusters. I want the fastest thrusters I can get, which will be 8As. Frameshift drive. I actually have, I believe, a frameshift drive. It's just not here. That will fit this. So this is it's a 6A SCO. And I have that frameshift, or 7. Is it 6 or 7? What is this? This is a 7. Okay, I do have a 7, but not here. So the 7 that I have is one that I got from a community goal. It's sitting there and waiting for this ship. It's in Nagalan. So I just need to fly back to Nagalan. It's actually on my carrier. And then put that in. So I'm not going to worry about doing that here. Life support, usually put in D rated. Doesn't need anything more than D. So we'll do a D. I can actually turn off store. I can sell the existing because it's garbage. Power distributor. I'm going to put in a... How big do I need to put in? 7? Okay, I'm going to put a 7A because I want to have enough charging capacitor to always be able to do a boost on this ship. That's what gets me the high speed of nearing 500 meters per second. So I'm going to put the highest quality power distributor. That's only 8 million, so that's relatively cheap. Sensors, I can go with D sensors for this type of ship. They don't have D sensors here. So I'm not going to bother replacing them for the time being. Fuel tank is standard. Leave that alone. So I need to replace the power plant. The frameshift drive I'm going to replace when I get back to Nagalan. So power plant, replace. And I'm going to go with... Oh, they don't have a power plant for me. Because I need a size 8. They only have up through size 3 or size 4 here. So I'm going to have to find a power plant elsewhere. And then I'm going to get rid of the shield generator. And start putting in the large size cargo racks. So there's an 8. I'm going to move this down to a size 5. I'm going to sell that. Don't need a size 7. I don't have any size 7 slots. Put another 8 in here. And internal empty. Put some 6s in here. Now, obviously, you don't have to buy this ship to do hauling. Like I said, it is actually very good as a NPC military ship. Shield boosted, shield powered. A lot of people also use these for mining. I'm not a big fan of this ship for mining, but some people really like to use it. And then some people use it for hauling, like what this one's going to be set up for. Now down here, I want Super Cruise. I don't want that, so I'm going to actually put in, where is it? Flight Assist. I'm going to put Advanced Docking. And we're not doing a shield, which means that the only other thing that I need to put in, well, okay, so here's the military slots. You can see an internal and an empty military, empty military. So both of these will need to be military, which limits what we can put in there. We can pull shield cell banks, module reinforcements, or hull. So we're going to put in hull reinforcements. We're going to put the 5Ds in there. And eventually we're going to engineer all of this stuff as well. That's what's going to provide the hit points to the ship, which are very needed if it's running without a shield. And in this compartment, we're going to put an FSD booster. They sell those here, they do not. So I'm going to put that in. I have that in Jarisi, really. I thought I had it in okay, well, whatever. Either way, I will transfer that to here. Or I could just go buy another one. And then this final slot, I guess I could put in of emergency fuel scoop. This is going to be super slow to fuel scoop. It's going to be actually, well, let's see. So either fuel scoop for emergency, if you're going to fly any kind of distance with this, put a 4A in there. That'll fit. Or if you wanted to, you could also put, instead of a fuel scoop, put a another cargo in there, cargo rack. And I could also put another cargo rack. So here's the distinction. Here's the difference, right? So if I put a cargo rack in here, let's say we put all cargo racks, right? So if we had no, I'm going to leave the fuel scoop, but you could put a cargo rack in here that'll add 16. So right now, with all of these cargo racks, we're at 768 total cargo capacity. If you get rid of this fuel scoop, that'll go up to another 16. So 686, right? Yeah, 684. Sorry, 784. So that'll be at 784 total capacity. Now that is great for a version of this ship to haul to and from a carrier, because you don't need a fuel scoop if you're not going to jump outside of the system. And you also don't need a jump distance enhancer. What are they called? You don't need an FSD booster. That's what I meant. You don't need an FSD booster if you're not going to be jumping outside of the system. So for short distance, you want everything filled with cargo racks that can be. So this would also be a cargo rack. However, we're going to be bringing this ship back to a carrier that is, let's see how far back it is. Not going to worry about it. So bottom line is, for a ship that's going to be living on the carrier, you don't need an FSD booster. You don't need a fuel scoop. For a ship that will be jumping longer ranges, a fuel scoop would be the first thing I would swap out and add. And then potentially a FSD booster so you can jump longer with that ship per jump. So there you go, guys. There's the how to get your rank up to be able to buy an Imperial Cutter video. A little longer, I know, than some people want, obviously, blah, blah, blah. But I think I've covered every aspect of this, including some mistakes that you may make as well. And now you know how to avoid them. We'll see you in the next one.